Good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon, I guess. Today is Thursday, August 5th, and Jack Grealish is officially a Manchester City, I don't know, what's their nickname?
A citizen.
Is it seriously that?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Well, what's up, Michael?
I mean, it's been a rough week for Tottenham fans, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it has.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into that, obviously. Just start out more of a general things. How are you liking NBA free agency so far?
I mean, I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm loving it. It's been great.
Why are you a Bulls fan?
Because that's my whole family's from Chicago.
Okay. This is the only thing I'll say. I like what the Bulls did. It just seems pointless to me.
No, we're getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, but you're not going to beat the Lakers.
Well, I mean, you can't go from 0 to 100. You got to build your way up.
I have these arguments almost every day with all the basketball guys I write with. I'm like, I just want the Cavs to be the worst possible team for the next 3 years. That's just what I want.
I mean, they did sign Jared Allen for a monstrous contract.
Yeah, I wanted them to sign him to that. I want them to trade Colin Sexton. Too much NBA. I talked too much NBA an hour ago. I even talked about it a little in my interview. I am way NBA'd out. So yeah, you have your other podcast to talk about NBA. We don't need to talk about NBA. Yep. How you doing? Just good? Good. Summer's good. Almost over. Are you doing school still?
No, I'm out of school. Just summer.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into things today. All right. I asked Tom this previously, and he didn't get it. I thought he would. This is a very obvious one. I mean, they're both obvious. If you don't get these, you might be kicked off the show for a week. Name one of the two top U.S. goal scorers in international competitions. There's two tied at the top of 57. Who are they? Just name one. I asked Tom to name one. He couldn't.
One's got to be Clinton Dempsey, right?
Correct.
The other one, I'm going to know it when you say it, but I just can't remember the name now.
This blows my mind that you guys are so young. Landon Donovan?
Oh, I mean, like I said, I know the name. It's just slipped my mind.
So I was trying to age this back because Landon Donovan scored the biggest goal in U.S. soccer history, basically, right. And it was when I was 17 and finally, mature and things like that. So you guys, were like 9 and 10? Yeah, well, so
I guess
I can't blame you for that, but I mean, one of the greatest just mornings of my life. I started running around the house. I was so excited when you hit that goal. But all right, so the big news, or I don't even know if it's news. I'll let you take this wherever you want to go, Michael. What is going on with Harry Kane in Spurs and City and who knows? So fill us in.
So apparently last season, well, Kane has a contract until 2026. Apparently last season he met with Spurs chairman Daniel Levy, and they had a gentleman's agreement that if they didn't win anything this year, Kane could leave. But how naive is Kane to think a gentleman's agreement is real, first of all? So now he is trying to leave. He wants to go to City because he wants Champions League football. City offered 100 mil euros or pounds, whatever it is, one of those, in June, and Spurs declined because they want 150. And now Kane was supposed to report for training Monday, and he didn't. And now he's just relaxing in Florida. But he's supposed to come. Now there's reports saying, I mean, it's all like, oh, Kane is saying this, Kane is saying that. But we haven't heard anything from Kane. Like he's on vacation with his family, so you don't really know. But apparently he thinks it's all blown out of proportion now. So he's coming back soon. And Spurs coach Nuno thinks he can still convince Kane to stay. So as of right now,
do you think he can convince him to stay? Because I like Nuno. I really like that hire.
I don't think It's risky because Daniel Levy, he's known as like the toughest negotiator in world football soccer. And I think this is just pissing him off that Kane thinks he's like bigger than Spurs. So I think it'll be hard for Kane to leave. But personally now, I kind of just want Kane to be sold because there's just it. I love Kane. I don't love what he's doing. I think he's kind of snaking his boyhood club, but we just need to move on. But I don't think it's going to happen. What I've seen is that if he leaves, he's going to leave on the last day of the transfer market, which is just not going to be good. But that also would mean Spurs would probably be buying a lot of players in the next week with the money that they're eventually going to get. But they're also not, because they don't want any player swaps, which I mean, they should try and swap like Laporte or Gabriel Jesus or something. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the boss.
Yeah, well, I mean, they should. All right. From an outsider's perspective, I'm going to say if Harry Kane's not on Spurs this year, I don't know if they finish in the top 10. I'll take it back. I think they would be in a battle for the top 5 or 6, but I don't think they touch the big 4.
Yeah, I've as a bit of a neurotic fan, I've been crunching the numbers and trying to be like, okay, if Kane is sold for 150 million, this is what they should do. And there's a guy named Dusan Vlahovic, who's the striker at Fiorentina. He's 21, and he's supposed to be like the biggest talent in Italy right now. Spurs are linked with him. They even want him to play with Kane if they can convince him to stay. I think he's rated at 50 million. So they sell Kane, they buy him, they buy Lautaro Martinez from Inter, and then they get some kind of like creative midfielder, whoever it may be. And then I think that team that's not bad.
If you sit down and think about it, obviously what Harry Kane brings to Spurs, it's something that no one else really can do on their own. It's guys like Messi do that. I mean, I'm not putting Kane on Messi's terms, but like he just does something for that. So in that sense, if you do sell him and then you form a better team around him, I would be all for that if I was Spurs, because then hopefully you're going to use the 150 million to buy some young guys like you mentioned, and the team could eventually be better. Because if like I said, I'm an outsider, but like from my opinion on the outside looking at it with Kane, it's like they don't do anything. Like they don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but Spurs hasn't really tried to make a ton of moves with Kane, so it's almost like you kind of know what you're going to get with Kane, so maybe try something different.
Yeah, there's definitely that aspect. This year they hired they actually have like a football director now who like targets people, and he's Italian, so he's been going for a lot of like people in Serie A, and that's why like Vlahovic, and they signed an Italian goalkeeper, and they just, it's not confirmed yet, but it's been agreed that they're signing Christian Romero from Atalanta, who's Argentina's center back, who won the Italian Defender of the Year. So that, I mean, I don't know if Kane and all the Spurs players are checking Twitter like I am to see if it's been confirmed, but maybe when that gets announced, he'll be like, okay, they signed the best defender in one of the biggest defending leagues. Maybe like they're showing some ambition, but as of right now, it doesn't look like Kane wants to play, but he has to come back to training at some point because he's a Spurs player still. Like he has to talk to. It's not fair to Nuno to not even talk to him.
I agree, and it's the way I would relate it. It's almost you'll know more about it than me, but it's almost a carbon copy of the Aaron Rodgers situation in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I don't know what I think it would. There's going to come a time when Spurs have to let him go. I agree they should ask for 150 million, but they should. If I were them, I would take anything from 120 to 130 million. I think you should definitely get over 100. And I think if they got it up to like 120, 130, they would think about doing it. And then obviously you go reinvest that. And then because this is what I like about soccer too, is because like if you're an MLB fan or an NBA fan, like whatever, LeBron James leaves or whatever, like you're kind of just screwed for a while. Like you can't just go out and buy players. You have to kind of let the process kick in unless you're in a big city. And with soccer, it's like, yeah, they could sell Kane for a huge price of, I mean, I'll get into that in a sec, but I mean, they could sell Kane and then make the team around them better. So I actually like that idea. When I think about Kane, I think he's overrated.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Well, but it's not overrated. It's more like I don't know how to put it, because like I feel like he's just a big striker, and he's clearly good in the box, but he doesn't get service, and that's what he needs more than anything, in my opinion. And so without service, Andy's a striker, so obviously he's not getting back on defense or anything, but like it looks like there's times when he's not even involved in the game because he's up front. And I don't know if that's a good model to go forward with. Like, just have your by far and away the best player ever on your team be up front, and then like kind of belittle the rest of the team and down. So yeah, I think if they did get, I think they should keep asking for 150. But if they can get somewhere around there, I don't think it's a terrible idea to move on from him. And like he's like the boyhood club and everything like that. I get that, but at some point you kind of just got to let it go, I think.
Yeah, Kane this past year, he has, since Eriksen left Spurs, he has kind of gone deeper when he's out of possession, and kind of, I mean, that's why he won Playmaker of the Year in the Premier League. Like, he's kind of become like an amazing passer, but definitely like he's a striker. Like, he's there to score goals, and he would be insane on City with De Bruyne and now Grealish, Sterling, Foden. Like, it would be insane. But another thing that hurts City buying him is Grealish was just bought for 100 million. And I mean, Grealish is great, but Kane is way better. So you can't, he's at least 50 million more, I would say. But that definitely hurts City's chance, and it helps Spurs. Like, they can just keep asking, well, you spend 100 million on Grealish, so you have to spend way more on Kane, the England captain.
Yeah, but like if I'm City and I had to choose between one of the two, I would probably take Grealish, just because you have formed, like, I don't know. It's just been very weird for me. I don't know how to explain how I feel about it. I think the best thing for them to do, if they had to get rid of him, would be like they should ask for 130 million and a player swap. Like, get a guy that can at least keep you incredibly competitive in games. You know, like don't I don't know who are the strikers on Spurs behind Kane.
They have no one right now. Well, I guess it would be Son.
Who I will
say,
a
winger more.
Yeah, Son. He was in my top 11 for this year. I love Son. No, I hate him, but I think he's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird with Kane, and it's almost like you obviously feel different about it because it's your team and things like that. But it's just it's an odd situation, and if so, you did say, and we were going to confirm that, but I mean, you did say Grealish has been signed by City. Everything is good. I think he'll be announced either today or tomorrow. There was a photo of him leaving the training center, so he's 100 million. So I would think that's good for Spurs, because I mean, it's got to be against financial fair play at some point, shelling out 100 million for someone and then 150 million for another.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if this was real, but Chelsea last year, they spent like an insane amount on like 5 players. So then they were saying like why can't City just spend that same amount on 2? But I don't know. I mean, I've already said I don't know how the financial fair play works with
I don't know
City.
either.
I thought they were supposed to be demoted already, but with the player swap, the only issue that I've seen is obviously I love Spurs, but if you're on City, you don't want to play for Spurs.
Yes.
Because you're guaranteed a trophy on City. So the player swap, it doesn't work unless the player getting swapped also wants to stay. And then it could also just become they play for Spurs for a year and then want to leave. So that's why I would like a player swap. Like if you could get like 130 million in Laporte, and then you have Laporte and Romero as your center backs, you're set for a while. And then you reinvest the 130, but you can't confirm that Laporte wants to stay. So I don't see them doing a player swap, even though it would make the most sense.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a weird situation. But more transfers. Once again, I don't remember anything from last week, so I don't know if we covered Rafael Varane to United.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really big pickup for them. I think they're the favorites now, in my opinion. I mean, they won't be the favorites, ever be the betting favorites. I mean, Manchester City, they like, you won't make money on their odds if they win the league. That's how favored they are. So I'm happy with Varane. I'm not happy Rashford's going to be out for a while, but whatever. Sancho will be fine. I kind of on your Kane thing. I'm kind of done with Paul Pogba. I'm not gonna lie. He's great, but it's like he doesn't do. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not saying a lot of words today. I'm more making noises, but like I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I don't need Pogba, and then obviously I don't really know how this is going on, but basically it seems to me like Real Madrid want to buy Mbappe, and then I believe then PSG would buy Ronaldo. I think that's like how that whole thing is set up. I believe Cristiano Ronaldo's just got to stop moving teams. Like he can't go to. I mean, I want him to close out. Did he come from Porto or?
He came from Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, so I think he's always said he's going to close out his career there. That he should do that. But it's definitely not a good look for you when like it's one of the things I like about soccer that it's different from the NBA and the NFL. Like you don't have guys that just go ring chasing really. Like it just doesn't work like that. So yeah, I don't know. But transfers. When does the period end?
I think it's the last day of August.
Okay, so we'll obviously keep our eyes on that. Yeah, I mean he's got to go back to training, you'd think. But yeah, and I mean Daniel Levy's American, right?
No, he's English.
Oh, dang it! I was gonna make a funny joke about an American. Never mind.
The only thing I can say about the last thing I'll say about Kane is no one has heard from Kane. So it really all could be, this is obviously a long shot, but it all could, because he was in the Bahamas where I don't know, like the travel time to get back to England is probably far. And with all the COVID stuff, he's obviously staying away from training, but it could end up being something that was blown out of proportion. And then when he talks to Nuno and Daniel Levy and the sporting director, it'll all be sorted out because this is so uncharacteristic for Kane. He's always been respectful to the club. He's the England captain too, so he's always in the spotlight. So this would kind of hurt his like just his like commercial appeal if he's like boycotting playing, which is just so. That's what I'm hoping for because I still want Kane. I love Kane.
You know what? I'm going to go opposite of you. I'm all in for the first ever soccer holdout. Maybe there have been in the past, but there have definitely been no big ones recently. So I would love to see how the holdout goes. in the English Premier League because it's always it always ends well in the NFL and the NBA. You always never goes wrong. So yeah, I don't know if you saw this yesterday. Wesley Fofana, the center back for Leicester.
Yeah.
They were playing Villarreal. He's I can't. Saul. That's not Saul. It's one of their. Maybe it was Pau or something. Terrible slide. Maybe. Terrible slide tackle on Fofana from behind. Like was down forever, and it was a cynical tackle. Like I mean, I don't think he was meaning to hurt him, but it was a cynical like let's stop the play, and. This is where I take it in from other this is just a rule I think that should exist in sports, and I just like your opinion on it, honestly. I think the guy who hurt Fofana, he should be suspended until Fofana can play again.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when it's like that, like in a friendly too.
Yeah,
it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be the best punishment. And then but yeah, that sucks. He's really young. He was on my team to watch this year for the best 11 before the Premier League season. Him and Ruben Diaz in the middle were my two center backs. But yeah, so that kind of sucks for them. I don't know. It just seems like Leicester is now. I mean, are they just now a top 6 club?
I would say probably.
Yeah, I agree.
The past 2 years, they've been in the top 4, I think, for the majority of both of the last 2 seasons. Then they fall out the last day. But I mean, they're just like a solid team.
Yeah, and I don't think Brendan Rodgers is great, but I don't think he's terrible either. And yeah, the only problem for them is, I mean, Jamie Vardy is not getting any younger, and they're gonna.
I think that helps him though.
How does it help him?
Have you heard of his pre-match routine?
No.
He has like 8 Red Bulls before every game or something. He's just like hopped up on adrenaline every day. That's why he's always. It's like he has like 2 Red Bulls for breakfast, and then a coffee, and then like another Red Bull before the game, and a Red Bull at halftime or something. It's insane.
I mean, yeah, that is insane. Like. You would have to you'd think you'd have like a trainer have to monitor your levels because at some point you're going to crash.
I guess not him. I mean, he did start playing professional like so old, so maybe he's got like that extra juice.
Yeah. Well, that's Leicester for you. I didn't see any other transfers really. I know Camavingo was still being looked at by United, but it's not supposed to happen. Did you see anything else?
I mean, there's some small ones, but Lukaku's being chased by Chelsea, and apparently Lukaku he's fine with staying at Inter, and he's also fine going to Chelsea. So it just depends what Inter and Chelsea decide.
Yeah. Lukaku. I mean, he's the most well-suited for the Premier League of all. I think of a lot of the strikers. I mean, he's big and strong, and he's not like super fast, but I don't know. He's not as good as Kane, I don't think, but I wouldn't say he's too far behind.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I can't believe I forgot this one. Do we think Haaland goes this window, or in January's window, or next summer, or never?
I think next summer. I think he's definitely going to go next summer, I think. But I don't think – I mean, he does have the connection with Ole because they're Norwegian with United. I mean –
because I'm just thinking so you got to think next year, like Madrid will probably go for Mbappe again. They'll probably eventually sign Mbappe. So, I mean – who are the giant? I mean, City won't be able to buy Haaland. I mean, and then Chelsea, if Chelsea gets Lukaku, I mean, maybe it is only a 1-year deal, or maybe it's not. I don't know. And then United, I mean, they would look at him. Obviously, I'd love him, but I don't know if they're going to spend that much on a striker. So I guess the question is like, where do you see him going if he goes anywhere? Because I'm thinking right now, like if I'm looking at next summer, Munich might make sense. Bayern Munich, because I just can't think of any of the other big clubs that will have the money or the need for him.
I don't think he's leaving this summer for sure. I think next summer he's the type of player where even if you don't need him, every club's going to go for him. So I really think it'll be Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, PSG, Munich, all the English clubs that can buy him. I guess Spurs probably won't be able to, but everyone that can buy him, they're all going to try and get him.
You never know. You could flip the 150 and then maybe sell another person too. And
that's
flip
true.
I mean,
that's a dream right there. But I think everyone will be in on him. I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he's at Madrid just because it's Madrid, and I feel like if they call, anyone is like, oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like it's either Madrid or Barcelona or PSG probably, just because, and I don't think Barcelona is going to have the funds to buy him.
Probably not.
I don't. I mean, have you seen what they're trying to do with Atletico Madrid and Griezmann?
Yeah, they're trying to do the swap, right, or something.
I think it's a swap, and then I think it even turned into like they want to like pay Atletico Madrid to take back Griezmann's like contract basically. Yeah. So, I mean, God, you want to talk about a guy who fell from grace? Jeez. But yeah, so I think it'll be really interesting next summer. But it would not actually. It would surprise me that would get if Real Madrid signed Mbappe and Haaland. That would be kind of redundant, and B, there's no way that's allowed, right? Like, there's just I don't know what the rules are, but there's just no way. I don't think.
I don't know if Mbappe. I don't know. I think Mbappe might leave later too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's at PSG a couple more years or something. But both of them are going to be the record transfer fee when it happens. I imagine maybe not Haaland because Neymar's was insane, but Mbappe for sure will be like 250 million or something. Haaland will probably be like 180, 190.
Yeah. So, and then obviously we've seen this in the United States a little bit, but COVID is back and going around. Are you worried about the players catching COVID and the season being put on hold and everything like that, or do you think it'll all end up working out?
I mean, I'm a little worried because they said it's full capacity stadiums, but there's also a part
which is awesome though.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I just want it to work out just because it's like normal again, and it's so much fun. I mean, the only thing that I'm still gonna miss is they're not gonna have the kid mascots with them when they walk out.
Oh,
that was always I love that. That was always so much funny stuff always happened with that. But with the fans back, there's definitely the risk for it, but hopefully it just works out.
Yeah, but then again, you also got to think like at the Euro final there, I mean, it was packed house, and I don't know. Yeah, I something you talk. I think because I think Dean Henderson is out for United's first match. I don't know who's going to play goalie for United. I don't know if it's De Gea or Henderson. I don't really like Henderson, and De Gea was at one point I thought the best keeper in the world, and then just dropped off dramatically in the last 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. So yeah, now to the United States a little bit. Shockingly, because this is the first time we talked. It's last week. U.S. women lost in the semifinals to Canada, I believe. Mm-hmm. And they were in the bronze medal. The bronze medal game today. They won 4-3. Three things kind of. Apparently, there's a lot of people that don't like the women's national team. I don't know if you've seen that. 2, do you care at all? And 3, is this a sign of things to come for the women? I'll say.
I mean, I like watching the women's team. I don't want to sound like not politically correct, but like watching women's play soccer, I feel like is the most comparable to the men's playing the same sport. Because I feel like in basketball, like it's a little different because like there's no dunking and stuff, but like the soccer, it's like really similar. And I think the U.S. team has fallen into where if they don't win, you think they failed because they're so good. But I mean, I still think they're the best team in the world. I mean, they have the best roster. They just played really bad and they gave up a really bad penalty.
Yeah, but I will say this though. I mean, their roster is pretty old.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree. It's probably not a sign of things to come. Although I do think like the U.S. women like got a head start over the rest of the world in soccer. Not really a head start, but I don't know. They got in the United States. They got women to play soccer like athletically that were the best like athletes, women, and they got that before it kind of spread around to other countries. So I do think that this generation, the Alex Morgan, the Carly Lloyds, and like this was the golden that was probably the golden generation of golden generations for women's soccer, and it probably will be. I just wouldn't be surprised if I think they'll always be top 5, but it would not surprise me if you just see teams like England and Germany. The regular teams or like whose men's teams are good. So it wouldn't surprise me. And I didn't know a lot of people didn't like the women's team. I don't really care, but I also kind of understand it. I don't need Megan Rapinoe and all those girls throwing the fact that they won stuff in my face. Like I just, it's whatever. But they lost, and so which brings us to an even bigger point. Are the U.S. men back?
They're back. I mean, they won 2 trophies in like 9 weeks.
Both over Mexico. So first question, though. Tata's got to be out at Mexico, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, you can't lose twice to the U.S.
In a matter of a month, too.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lie. So obviously the U.S. won the Gold Cup on Sunday. Actually a good match. Did you watch it?
I watched the extra time.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match for most of it, I'd say. And then the extra time, they scored in the 118th minute. Miles Robinson, crazy. It was awesome that it was him because Mexico's manager, Tata, coached at Atlanta United, and he had drafted Miles Robinson the first overall, I don't know, like this year or last year or whatever. And he didn't play him at all when he was the manager at Atlanta. And now he got out of Atlanta, and Miles Robinson is really good, apparently. So good for him. But, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit – did you watch any of the, like, afterwards or the –
Yeah, I watched, like, the highlights of it. I didn't watch the full thing, but –
like Alexi Lalas, and I think there was another guy up there. They were like crying like about how big this was. Like, let's take a step back from that a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong. I think the United States, I have more faith in them qualifying this fall than I think I've ever had in the past. Because I just don't think the rest of the CONCACAF is very good other than Mexico. But yeah, and then going into the Gold Cup, I'm not going to – I saw the roster, and then I saw the roster. I was like, I'm not going to watch this. And then they won their first game, like 1-0, and then they won 6-0. I didn't really got it. And then I watched the quarterfinal or the semifinal versus Qatar, which they were lucky to get out of that one. Who knows? Qatar could be a threat at next World Cup.
I think they won the Asia games.
Yeah, I think they're actually like a decent.
Yeah,
like, they're not bad. I don't. Yeah, I mean, the only reason they've asked like CONCACAF and all those places to play in these tournaments so they can get better because they're going to host it. But yeah, I saw this group and I was like, I don't think. And then they even before the game versus Mexico, I was like, I just don't see them winning. Like these are all 19 to 20, 23-year-old MLS players. But they did, and it was an awesome game. Once again, Alexi Lalas, you don't need to cry, dude. Like, it's okay. I understand it, but you don't need to cry. Also, great job, US, by not having Taylor Twellman anywhere near the TV, because I hate him and he would have ruined everything.
I agree.
Yes. So I guess going forward, are you confident in the US qualifying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this Gold Cup win really plays into that much just because of the team that it was. And I think that's kind of why everyone was so happy about it, because it's like this is like our B team or our C team even. But we're also playing Mexico's B team. But I mean, you got to win the games that you're playing, so that's good. But the Nations League win, the Nations League win, that for sure, like that, they look like a good team actually. And I saw that, I don't know if it was ESPN or FIFA or someone made a new like top 10 international team rankings, and they have like the US at like 8th. I'm like, okay, we won a couple, but like, relax, we're not that good. Like, we're definitely not in the top 10, I don't think.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would have to sit down and list them out, but definitely not top 10, maybe top 15.
I think there's at least 10 European teams that are better, and then there's Brazil and Argentina, and probably
Uruguay. Yeah. So, yes. I will say this though. There are some of those dudes from that Gold Cup winning team that I think will get. I think Miles Robinson will eventually start for the United States. He was an incredible all tournament. Gianluca Busio stunk and made me sad, but I hope he's better. But yeah, I think going forward,
Poppy's good. I like him.
I hate him.
Oh, I like him.
Oh God, how?
He's so big.
He's big, but he doesn't know how to pass.
He's gonna learn. He's so young.
They are all young. But let's also be realistic, though. It's not like Christian Pulisic is like 28 now. I mean, Pulisic is like 22, 23, 24.
Yeah, everyone is. I mean, Gio Reyna he's like 18.
Yeah, he's 18. He's young.
And then Weston McKennie's like 22 also. They're all, it's a very young team. So, I mean, I don't expect them to do anything in the World Cup just because of that.
I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win it all. No. I mean,
if they get out of the group stage, that would be insane. But I just want them to get better and better for then the World Cup that's going to be here.
Wait, so you don't okay. So I think about the two biggest World Cups when I've been alive, have been in the United States. We were in it 2014 and 2010. Because you just said if they make it out of the group stage, it'd be amazing. I mean, they made it out of the group stage. They make it out of the group stage most of the time when they're in the World Cup.
Well, that's also to the fact that there's so many terrible teams in the World Cup, like teams that have no funding for their soccer teams. But
yes,
I mean,
and I will say that I agree with you on the fact that I'm not sure that the Gold Cup really signifies anything going forward, other than I think they have a little bit more depth now. But and I also don't think that they've jumped way ahead of Mexico or anything. I mean, if anything, if you had it'd be US 16, Mexico 18, 17, something like that. So but I am more confident more than ever now. More of the fact that just because Mexico and the United States will get in, but in the past they've struggled with, and then I guess you never know, they might, but they've struggled with Costa Rica and Puerto Rico and not Puerto Rico, but all these countries. And it seems like now they're finally that. It seems like now that the U.S. and Mexico in CONCACAF are just kind of they're on another level. So I don't worry as much about them having to go to a Jamaica to play a qualifier, just because I think that there's enough quality, actual quality good players that it shouldn't be an issue. So and like I said, when they missed the last World Cup, I mean they went down to I think Jamaica and lost. I think they went to Costa Rica and lost. So yeah, I do think it's good going forward. And I have to give credit to Greg Berhalter. I hated them when they hired him. I did not like it, which is weird because I think he was the coach for the Crew, who I liked. But all the things he was doing, I didn't really like it. Like I don't know if he was going young or whatever, but I'll give him credit. I mean, this is the best summer of United States men's soccer. I don't know, 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
So I am confident going forward. And then, like I said, I just think U.S. and Mexico are on a different level. But it does suck that the fact that, I feel bad for the Mexican manager. He's lost 3 games since he's been in charge, but he's lost 2 to the United States. So that's like, you just can't do that. So,
yeah.
So I don't know. All right. As long as you do everything else, we're going to get into our little bit of a fantasy draft. I figure we just do this. We'll come up with the scoring at some point. We'll figure it out. And then we'll do weekly best bets for the weekend games and stuff on that. But we'll figure out how to do this, and we'll set up our own teams, and we'll figure out a scoring system. So, starting 11 from around the world. I don't know. All right. Odds or evens?
I'll go with odds.
All right. You want to go first or go second with 2?
We're doing snake?
Yep.
I'll go second.
Okay. Damn it. All right.
We're doing any formation you want, or are we doing the same?
No, you can do any formation you want. Okay. Like I said, I can pull up that thing that I sent you. It was just cool. I found it online. It was so awesome. I will. I think it's fair. It's fairly obvious. You kind of have to go with either a Messi or Ronaldo here. I think
you can't go against your morals here. You're a United boy.
I know. Yeah, I'll take Ronaldo.
All right, no surprise. I'll take Messi, and then I'm also gonna take. I'll take Harry Kane.
Okay. All right. Ronaldo. I will actually, oddly enough, even though I kind of just said I was done with him, on a team with Ronaldo, I will take Pogba.
Interesting.
I will take Pogba, and then Donnarumma.
That's a fair pick. That's the best goalkeeper out there.
I just I mean, I'm just trying to think of the most. I don't know. There has to be like some really tall guy that would be a great a great soccer goalie. I don't know.
There must be.
I mean, like, you got to think like Shaq. I mean, he can't move much, but he covers half the goal. Like,
yeah.
You know? So, all right, you're up.
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Mbappe on the left wing, and then I'm gonna take. I'll take Van Dijk.
It's a good one. It's a good one. He should be back. Yeah, he got hurt last year. He should be back this year.
Yeah, he's back training.
Yeah, I remember looking at that because Liverpool got crushed with injuries a lot last year. All right, I'm gonna go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right back. I actually think he is, I would say, top 5 in the world, just because he's so goddamn fast and he covers so much ground. And I could make the easy choice and go with Luke Shaw on the left, but no. I'll take Holland.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. I'm gonna take Kevin De Bruyne.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take Joshua Kimmich.
Kimmich. Where does he play? Is he
Midfield?
Yeah. Okay. Is Neymar good anymore? Do we know if he's actually good anymore?
He's good. I think he's good.
Yeah, I'm going to take Neymar on my right wing. And then, yes. And then I'm taking N'Golo Kante.
That's a good one.
I don't know how he's so good, but he is so good.
Yeah, he's really good. Trying to think if I want to change my formation a little bit, but I don't know if I can anymore. Let's see. Let's think about this. I think I'm going to find me a pairing for Van Dijk. And I don't think I'm going to look any further than Ruben Diaz.
It's a good one.
And then I'm going to go with Ederson in goal.
All right. I have a question. So just kind of talk aside.
Yeah.
Do you actually think Ederson's one of the best goalies in the world?
I think I do because I think he's the best passer out of everyone.
I agree he is the best passer, and I agree he probably has the best footwork. And I agree when he's on, he is the best. But for me, he's off sometimes just a little too much. Like this obviously was a mistake, and but whatever. Then when they played United last year, and he tried to throw it out with I don't know, it was 4 minutes left in extra time, and tried to roll it out, and it went straight to McTominay, and McTominay scored from 50 yards. So to me, he just makes mistakes that I really don't like. Okay. So wait, who did you take?
I took Diaz and Ederson.
All right. So okay. All right. I'll take Varane.
That's a good one.
I'll take. No, I can't take him. He's too old. I'll take Grealish and find him somewhere.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Ooh. A lot of decisions to be made.
Okay.
I think I think I'm going to go a little surprised. I'm going to go Declan Rice.
That's a good pick.
Get some English players in there.
Who does he play for? Is he Southampton?
West Ham still.
West Ham? Okay. Yeah,
And
because
then,
people are looking at him to get him out, right? They want to buy him.
yeah, they want him in Chelsea, I believe. And then I'm gonna take Alphonso Davies on the left.
All right, yeah, that's a good pick. Isn't he Canadian?
He is Canadian.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. No. I'm gonna go with Delight at center back.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Holland up front, Ronaldo flank by Ronaldo. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna have to do it. Oh, okay. I'll take Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Good one. That was your last one, right? Or do you have one more?
Yeah, I do. No, I did. I'm good. I have 4-3-3.
I just have my right back, and I think I'm just gonna add insult to injury and get Kyle Walker and just have the two fastest fullbacks.
You don't have the two fastest fullbacks though. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is faster than any fullback in any league.
No way he's faster than Alphonso Davies.
I will bet you.
Put him to a race. Let's see.
Wan-Bissaka he's a godsend, but that's a good pick. I like that. So, all right. So for me, I got Holland up top with Ronaldo flanking him on the left, Neymar flanking him on the right. I got N'Golo Kante sitting deep in a more of a defensive midfield position with Grealish and Pogba in front of him. And then obviously left back, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Wan-Bissaka on the right, and then Varane and Delight in the center, and Donnarumma. I actually I'm proud of myself. I'm going to say that.
Nice.
I think we both picked good teams. So you go ahead and name your team off.
I have a 4-2-3-1. I have Kane up top, followed by Mbappe, De Bruyne, and Messi. And then I have the double pivot of Kimmich and Rice, the back four of Davies, Ruben Diaz, Van Dijk, and Kyle Walker, all in front of Ederson between the sticks.
Okay, I'm going to come on and say this. I think your team is better than mine, but you have flaws that I could pick apart. Like Ronaldo is going to tear Kyle Walker apart.
Not going to happen.
Okay, I mean that's crazy. Okay,
not going to happen.
Yeah, so we're going to figure out how to do this. I don't know. That was fun though. I like it. I'm gonna use that thing I used from my article. I'll put both of them in, and I'll put it up on Instagram, and everything like that. So, all right. I think that's gonna do it for today for us. Obviously, next week will be huge. I think next week we'll probably just preview every game, probably in the Premier League, and then is the Community Shield this weekend?
It should be. I don't even know who's in it.
It's Leicester and City.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
That just doesn't even matter, honestly.
It mattered once, I think, to me when after Louis van Gaal won the FA Cup. And then the next year we got Zlatan, and Zlatan scored a sweet goal in the Community Shield. That's the only thing I remember. So, yeah. No.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I think I told you earlier. I like Nuno. I think you guys are going to be good. So before we leave, we kind of need your verdict. By next week, are we going to have Kane on another team? Kane still on vacation, or Kane has returned to training?
He's returned.
Okay.
He's returned.
Yeah, I gotta say, Harry Kane's got to have a good year this year.
He's gonna.
Okay.
He's gonna.
Okay.
I hope. I mean, I want him to have a good year on Spurs. If he goes to City, he can drop a dud, no problem.
Yeah. Well, you show no loyalty. You show no loyalty.
I'm loyal
That's
to
a
Spurs.
typical Spurs fan. No loyalty.
If he goes to City and somehow Spurs win like the FA Cup and City win nothing,
yeah, no, that'd be.
What about that?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think next week we'll also get into a little bit of, like, I really do think stamina is going to end up being a big issue at next year's World Cup. But
yeah,
that's all a year away. Michael, I will see you next week, but it has been a great summer of soccer. Would you agree?
Agreed. Best summer ever, I think.
Yeah, I would say this summer beats the 2010 summer when Landon scored the goal. 2 big goals. Yeah, and I'm pumped that obviously, soccer's coming back. I mean, anyone that doesn't like soccer, like,
they haven't given it a try.
You have not given it a try, A, and B, you get it on Saturday and Sunday mornings at like 7 a.m. or like 8 or 10 o'clock a.m. There is, other than maybe golf, there is nothing better to watch. It's like calming. Like, you just woke up and go just lay and watch. It's great. I love it.
You don't have to deal with commercials. It's just You get 45 minutes of soccer. You get halftime. You go do whatever you got to do, make some breakfast, go to the bathroom, 45 minutes, and then you're done.
Yep. And
one pitch, 45 seconds of just waiting around, another pitch, none of that.
Yeah, no, it's way more fast paced than people believe as well. Yeah, and I told Tom, I was like, man, because I was talking about just moving into my own, just locking myself in a room for the fall, and I told Tom that he has to watch qualifying, and we'll see if he does, and if he doesn't, he might wind up dead somewhere. So no, I'm just kidding. But all right, Michael, I think that's going to do it, man. Excited for next week, and any last words?
Have a good week, guys.
It's the weekend.
God. Have a good weekend. Well, we still have Friday.